Hey everyone, the Break Canuck here. Welcome to TBC Plays. Here I am, a month into Yelinak, and I wanted to chat about some of my experiences so far on Yelinak, what I think about the server, what I've been doing over the last few weeks, and kind of where I want to go next. So, firstly, Yelinak, the launch. Oh my god, it was fine. It was perfect. I was not aware of any issues. I got in straight away. There was a queue for a little while, but that went away, and within a few hours it wasn't an issue. What they did when they launched the server is they kept the population really, really low, and they slowly opened it up as the kind of day wore on, and no one really had any issues getting on the server whatsoever. Fantastic, +1 right there for Daybreak for excellent server launch. Similar thing for Vaniki. Heard there was no issues over there whatsoever. Obviously I'm playing on Yelinak. Now, in terms of the population, I don't think, based on my experience and what I've seen, the population is as high as as other servers at launch. But what I found is it's feeling very populated. Those first weeks, there was multiple picks of, say, Nick Tulo's Forest. That's not there anymore. Same thing for Lava Storm, but there's still people leveling. There's still a lot of people who are experiencing this game. And see, right now I'm in the tunnel in Commons, and there's loads of people around. There's loads of people running around, and it's really great to see lots of people selling the loot, getting buffs, you name it, getting pots. It all happens here. An interesting thing with the server is there's no real guild that has kind of dominated the open world mobs. There hasn't been a guild that has taken every single one like there's been on previous servers that I've played on and others. Instead, it's been relatively open. The downside to that was it did take a while for the raid bosses to get killed, and like say the dragons and Finny, and the problem with that is it doesn't open the hole. So for myself, I raced ahead in terms of leveling. I wasn't like super fast, but we weren't too bad, and without the hole open, there was really nowhere to go other than persevere it out in Little Guk or Sol B or forbid the Ocean of Tears over there. It was about a week that we got the hole open. That really accelerated the leveling curve for the players that were kind of just behind us. So that's been going really, really well. And like my guild, where we have a guild on this server, we're a PST guild. At this point, we have completed Classic. We've killed every single mob that's kind of on that you can do raid wise. So we've taken out Vox, we've taken out Nagi, Finny, Yale. I don't know if I really count Yale, but we'll include him. Why not? We've cleared Kazakh Fool, we've cleared Inarok, and the last one which we cleared was Plane of Sky, and that includes the Eye of Vishan and all the Ifritis up to the Hand of Vishan. That was just last night, and it was an absolute world of fun. As you know, with Sky, keying is an absolute pain, and it takes a while. But the guild's been going really well. We're still fielding full raids of 98% real players. So we're having 71 real players at our raids, which is fantastic. Very little boxes. The only boxes we've used is on some of the classes that we're low with. So if you are a main cleric or a main bard, certainly, and you're in the PST and want to raid after the kids have gone to bed, look us up. The guild tag's right there, or send me a message in game or on Discord. And that's an interesting name right there, Bixie Milker. You see everything in the tunnel. It really is where chaos comes together. So the only downside about, I think another downside of Yelinak for me right now is the amount of very large boxers out there, there is a lot of magicians running around, and you'll see them permacamped at the regular camps. I do not know why Daybreak do not enforce this further than they do, which is minimal, very, very minimal. I've seen people that are abusing geometry in zones, people that are perma AFK, just sending the pets in, and they can be there 24 hours. And that is perfectly fine, according to Daybreak. They will take no enforcement action. And for the health of the game, I do not understand why. I get every one of those accounts pays a chrono or whatever, it goes into their coffers, but it has an impact onto the community of the server. And this isn't a new problem. It's a problem that's been around now for 6, 7, 8 servers, basically as long as TLPs have been around. The only server I think that it didn't cause any issues on was Mischief, and that was because the nature of the kind of beast and the rule set that they had, that with the random loot and with the enhanced loot and the no trade, that kind of group tier loot was almost irrelevant, and it could drop anywhere. You didn't need to get a 3D boots at the 3D camp in Sol B, for example. Whereas you go to the 3D here, I guarantee 2 or 3 of those picks have 6 mages just sat on it. And it's the same in the usual spots. So Wraith Mountains, you're going to see it again. And that's frustrating. And, downside for Daybreak, big X there. It doesn't take much to police that, in my opinion. You can see how long, even if it goes down to how long someone's been logged in the game, that I just wish there was more enforcement. I just wish they would put a little bit more budget into the community into that, because it drives people away from the game. When people, like casual players, are logging in and they want to do 3D, but every single pick is taken up by 6 mages, which is probably the same guy across all the picks with a bunch of mages. It does put a kind of negative perception and everything mark on the server, and it does for me to this day. Not saying I don't box. For sure I box. Someone like me who has played the game for several years, there is value in boxing. Now, I always like to play ideally with 6 real players on Discord. Every single one of my best experiences I've had in this game has been in that kind of setup. Having said that, I do like to do things by myself from time to time. Recently, I've been taking myself up to the Plane of Hate to farm gems and armor, which is a pretty toxic zone at the best of times right now, with again all the boxes running around. But I've been able to snag some armor upgrades for my characters, like BP for my cleric and so on, which can be pretty hard to snag considering in a guild where we are not inviting boxes at this time. So it's I've been having fun doing it. I find it fun. It's not without challenge, boxing in Plane of Hate. Things can go wrong really quick, but you stay on top of it. It's pretty good fun, and you've got to fight for mobs there, which is I wouldn't say fun. My opinion and my kind of expectations when it comes to that, when it the zone not is contested, but there's multiple groups running around trying to snag the spawns. People are using programs to see where they spawn. You know that, and there's no point hiding from that. And it's just another unfortunate state of the game. If somebody sees a cleric of Yelinak spawn, they are going to beeline straight to it because they see it on their third-party program, and they will beeline to it and they will get it. And those are the people that you're dealing against when you go to Plane of Hate, and you have to expect to deal with that. How you do that is kind of up to you. I've been lucky, like say that Cleric of Hate, the Cleric of Yelinak example in Hate. They left one up. A boxer left one up. I went over, tagged it. It had the BP. Happy days. And again with the mage armor, similar thing. So yes, I think there's a lot of good in this server. There's some negative as well, and it's the same every damn TLP and Daybreak. Please, I don't know, step up this enforcement and step up, helping your community to survive without drawing players away, because it does, and it will get frustrated for new players. So, in terms of the channel and what I've been doing on the channel over the last few weeks, not much. Unfortunately, I suffered a pretty nasty concussion a few weeks ago, and screens were not helping me with that. I was really limiting what I've been doing on screen, so you've not seen me around to kind of point out the content as much as I would like to do. Having said that, we're now in a state where Kunark is a few weeks away, and I'm starting to feel a lot better. So I really want to ramp up some of the content for Kunark, and some of the ideas. I'll be putting out some similar zone guides. The first one, which I'm kind of halfway through doing, is Chardok. Zone guide for Chardok, because I absolutely love that zone. I'm going to do a video on things like the VP key and Spirit Rack Chords quest, even some epics. I could probably put them together as well, and a few other things like some of those quests that they've added in, or kind of those discovered or rediscovered quests of Kunark, I think they're calling them, where you get achievements for it. There's some really good and fun ones. I always like the Necromancer quests are there as well, like memory serves, we had to go get the fingers in like Kern's Tower and so on, the Skullcap quests. So I'm going to do a lot of videos like that, and I really am looking forward to Kunark and battling that content as well with the guild that we have. Not too much different really, Kunark, than Classic. A couple of new dragons in Track and Sev, Talendor. The VP key is still a question mark for me. I don't know how they're going to handle that, if it is going to be changed like it was on Mischief, or if it's going to be reverted back to the kind of original, which means Swamp of No Hope, toxicity, and all that kind of usual stuff at Pain Soul and so on and so forth. We'll take it as it comes and we'll deal with it. I mean, I for sure will make sure I am getting my key done, because I really like Vishan's Peak. Faradar is probably one of my favourite dragons in Kunark. I know he gets repeated, like that model gets repeated and used a lot in Velius, but Kunark, when you make it to VP, and a lot of players never got the chance to see VP years and years ago. It was a very elitist zone, and overall it's not really a zone that's kind of worth doing outside of Faradar, Silverwing because you have to, and maybe Hoshkar, who's an absolute pain. But there really isn't much else to do beyond that. In my opinion, that's worth it. You kind of clear it all once for the progression and the achievement and all that kind of good stuff. But beyond that, there's not really, in my opinion, much to do. But I always look forward to doing Vishan's Peak, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. So, thank you so much, everyone, for your patience and subs, because they're going to be cranking out some more content as the days and weeks kind of draw down on Kunark, and Yelinak is doing well. We'll see what happens in Kunark. It is kind of more the same, so we'll see what the kind of attrition is like. And like I said, if you are playing on Yelinak, or you're thinking about playing on Yelinak, you're a Pacific time player and you want to raid with us, look me up in game or on Discord. I'm more than happy to chat to you about that, especially if you're a bard or a main cleric. Other than that, I am the Brick Canuck, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.